Hello, friends. Thank you for your steadfast work each week. As you know, we have embarked on our experiment of viewing the Middle East, West Asia in its entirety, and then viewing within this wider panorama specific aspects or nations. And we do this in order to understand this region in the planetary context a bit better, and also to understand more fully the relationships between the different nations and factions within this region. So for this purpose, we adopt the model of psychosynthesis of the nations, according to Assagioli, and we apply it to this region as a whole. So we will be addressing the Middle East as an entity, as a whole, and the various nations as the entities, subpersonalities. This requires quite a shift for us, especially for those who live in the area. So we will do this slowly. Last week, Helen had a first broad look, identifying 3 different subgroups or general blocks within this Middle East. The first is the pro-West, US-aligned bloc, with nations like Israel, Jordan, the Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt. And the second group is the Iran-aligned, as it's called, the resistance, the axis of resistance. This is Iran and Syria, at least as it was under Assad, the Iraqi militias, Lebanese Hezbollah, and Yemeni Houthi faction, and the Palestinian groups of Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and so on. So this is the axis of resistance. And then we have the independent balancers, countries that are not strictly pro-West or pro-Iran, and they try to balance between all the different factions, also the outer, the US, China, Russia, and they often act as mediators. They avoid taking sides fully. These are countries like Qatar, Oman, the Iraq government, Saudi Arabia, and the Emirates. As you see, these 3 are partly overlapping. It's all very dynamic, often two-faced, not clear-cut. So for today, let us stay with this broad lens, not yet going into more specifics, so that we get used to this new perspective and framework. So Helen will today not offer anything, only sound at the end the great invocation in Arabic. Okay, I give over to Efrat.
Hi, thank you, Uta. Good evening, dear friends. Thank you for being here. Until now, I have shared and presented here the occurrences and events in Israel, the various groups that make up Israel's society, the conflict, as well as the positive action. In the new model we are introducing here, the model of psychosynthesis, I will try to present an approach to viewing the state of Israel as a sub-personality and as an attempt at self-realization by the Jewish people within the Middle East, and to explore its relationship with the other subpersonalities that constitute this entity. We will do it through a gradual process. Thank you. Back to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Efrat. Of course, it's a pity that we have only one subpersonality represented here of the Middle East, of West Asia, Israel, would be really very needed to have other representatives too, but there aren't any that we know of. Perhaps I can add one thought before we start the meditation. It's in continuation of the distinction that we are understanding more between the Middle East and West Asia. Perhaps we can say that the Middle East is a Western enterprise, a Western construct. We said it before, but maybe it's good to bring it back into our consciousness, and also to be aware that DK told us that the UK, United Kingdom, the United Nations, and the United States of America have collected karma through wrong decisions that they have made in this region, West Asia. Quite a thought to take into consideration and into meditation now. Okay, so let us settle in our body. Emptying ourselves of any other issues, feeling our heart for a moment between the shoulder blades, letting it be purified so it may hold the complex situation in its entirety in harmlessness. And start to collect now our mental forces in the center of the head. And from here, expanding into an inclusive planetary perspective. Standing as the soul in incarnation, in the will to love. And meeting each other, reaching out heart to heart, mind to mind, soul to soul. And we recognize that we are part of the Ajna center of the planet in vibrational resonance with all soul-guided servers around the world. Standing together, calm, like on a pinnacle, at the midway point between humanity and hierarchy. And from here, Let us observe struggling humanity with all the forces in motion, the turmoil and pressure. And within this larger picture, let us now focus on the region of West Asia. Getting a sense of the many powerful forces meeting here. This Middle East vortex. And see if we can get a sense of some of the dynamics of these three groupings: the pro-West, the axis of resistance, and the balancers. And let us hold this realization that West Asia is a playground for humanity's ancient karmic solar plexus issues. So let's observe this intensity of the struggle, the strongly held narrow identities and beliefs, the righteous claims and selfish interests, and the survival fight for life and for dignity. The more we will be able to contain this in our awareness, this complexity, the more it will become easier for humanity to understand it. Lifting now our consciousness towards that of our ashramic co-workers, resting for a moment in their higher wisdom and their protection. And in their aura, let us now take a moment to quietly reflect on the necessary process of transmutation of this condition in West Asia. Let us imagine, visualize the transformation of conflict into a field of creative tension. Sense and intuit for a moment, what would it take to transform this zone of complex turmoil into a field of creative tension. Let us invoke the Lords of Liberation to help us transmute all that stands in the way and evoke the soul light in humanity to forge together a path for the saving force on our planet. Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to humanity. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, Almighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light. And may we stand with masked intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, Almighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, Almighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. See and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, flood West Asia. See a huge column of light pouring through all planes. Hold this column steady in the will to peace. See soul light flooding the mental plane of the Middle East. See soul light pouring into the astral plane of the Middle East. See soul light pouring into the etheric physical plane of the Middle East, penetrating into the earth. Joining with the Devic forces, transmuting the ancient records of evil sharing, dissolving and purifying them into the recognition that every human life is sacred. Let us take 2 minutes to see this work proceeding. Visualize the saving force spreading in West Asia. Being active in each nation, each ethnic group, each religious group. Visualize the principle of the highest good of all, gradually and steadily taking root. Lifting humanity from solar plexus dynamics into the heart. Let us affirm this as we sound the great invocation in Hebrew and in Arabic.
מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, יזרום האור אל דעת האדם. ירד האור על פני האדמה. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מהמרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם. תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז אשר נקרא המין האנושי, תוגשם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הווה. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אור אהבה ועוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.
من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب إلى قلوب الناس وليرجع معلم الكون إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة، تلك الغاية التي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي نظن بالجنس البشري لينتج تسمين الحب والنور ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر، ليجدد النور والحب والقوة، التسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.